So the government is saying that Mashinsky should get 20 years behind bars in prison. So I'm going to go over this. This is from Jay Clayton. He is at the Southern District of New York, and he goes over the reasons why on May 8th, 2025, so very soon, when Mashinsky is scheduled to be sentenced, he should get 20 years in prison. Okay? So I want to go over this. I made a couple highlights. I first, though, want to cover what came in the docket just a few days ago, where a lot of the supporters of Mashinsky decided to share why he should get 0 prison time or a lot less prison time. They talk about a couple things. They go over, or just kind of to summarize, Mashinsky's character and intentions. So many supporters emphasize Mashinsky's good character, genuine intent, and significant positive contributions to society, particularly highlighting his innovation in technology and in finance. They argue that he did not have malicious intent nor aim to deceive anybody. They also mention that Mashinsky has integrity, honesty, generosity, and commitment to helping others, including significant charitable acts. Several creditors also noted that they experienced minimal financial damage or have fully recovered their investments due to the Celsius bankruptcy outcome, which doesn't really make sense to me. So I'm not going to go through the individual people just because I don't really want to be calling out individual names of creditors and, Mashinsky's family members or some of his family members voiced up. People who worked with him in Celsius also wrote to the judge. Even individual creditors said these things as well, too. So I think I paid $30 for that document just to summarize it. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get to what the attorney said regarding his 20-year plus sentence. Let's take a look right here. This is again from Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton is right here. He is an American attorney who has served as the acting U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York since 2025. So he assumed office April 16th, 2025. So I guess new to this office, but not new to being an attorney. So let's take a look. Essentially, they go over the entire Celsius saga. I'm not going to go over that for you guys because that's really boring and you all know what happened. So the sentencing is again scheduled for May 8th, 2025. I'm recording this, I don't know, like the 29th or 30th or so a little over a week. So just some highlights. As part of his plea, Mashinsky has admitted that he was the leader of the criminal activity at Celsius, that his crimes caused staggering losses in excess of $550 million, and that he personally benefited to the tune of more than $48 million. Mashinsky blamed market conditions, regulatory uncertainty, and even his own victims, portraying himself as a casualty of forces beyond his control. This profound lack of remorse underscores the continuing danger he poses. For his calculated criminal conduct and unrepentant posture, a severe sentence is warranted, one of at least 20 years. So at least 20 years. And we'll get to that a little bit later, talking about Sam Bankman-Fried as well. So scrolling all the way down to page 85, just skipping a lot. So why does he believe there should be a 20-year plus sentence? So the defendant, Mashinsky, lied over and over again. People put their life savings in Celsius. People trusted Mashinsky was telling the truth when he said their investment was safe. First, the scope of Mashinsky's fraud is staggering. Even after the bankruptcy process, investors are short over $1 billion under even the most conservative calculations. Almost all the victims of his crime were retail crypto investors, very important, whose losses constituted a significant portion of their savings and had devastating consequences on their lives. This was not a financial crime in which a few well-heeled hedge funds and sophisticated institutional investors lost a small fraction of their assets. It was a crime in which Mashinsky deliberately targeted real everyday people with misrepresentations and caused irremediable harm on their lives. I agree with that. I think that does make this different than other financial crimes. Many of them lost their life savings as a result and are still putting their lives together. Yes, more than 200 victim letters were submitted in connection with sentencing, and they are heartbreaking. One said, "I'm now 59 and lost my entire life savings, nearly 9 Bitcoin. This man robbed me of 40 years saving for our retirement. Plans for retirement have been indefinitely postponed. My ability to provide for my children's education has been significantly compromised. Celsius didn't just take my money, they stole my stability, my dreams, my family. I lost my entire retirement savings, home, and am struggling to pay medical expenses." Mashinsky preyed upon the lowest hanging fruit, yearning people in need of financial success. So, Mashinsky's crimes were also no accident. They were not a momentary lapse, and it was not an isolated bad decision. They were a sustained, calculated campaign of deceit carried out over years, targeting ordinary people. Mashinsky's conduct reflects layers upon layers of calculated deceit. And this is all coming from this attorney. Mashinsky had countless opportunities to stop, to disclose the truth, and to mitigate the harm. The evidence showed over and over again that the defendant, Mashinsky, lied and manipulated Cell to his own personal benefit to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. He then used this money to fund his own lavish lifestyle. The defendant was not motivated by benevolence, but by greed. Without meaningful deterrence, financial crime may be seen as a rational choice. So now they're talking about why giving Mashinsky a 20-year plus sentence is important, right? Only a severe sentence can make clear that lying, stealing, and manipulating markets under the guise of financial innovation is still lying, stealing, and manipulating, and will be punished accordingly. A significant sentence for Mashinsky will serve as a critical warning to other entrepreneurs, executives, and promoters in the cryptocurrency industry and in any future industry as yet unconceived, that fraud will be punished severely regardless of the technology or industry in which it occurs. When financial crimes devastate vulnerable retail investors, the damage ripples far beyond the individual balance sheets. It undermines public confidence in markets as a whole. A substantial sentence is therefore necessary not only to punish Mashinsky, but to protect the integrity of the financial system and to make clear that those who exploit public trust for personal gain will face the most serious consequences. Specific deterrence also requires a significant sentence here, especially in light of Mashinsky's continuing refusal to accept responsibility for his crimes, like blaming others for what happened. So this is the interesting part. He has shielded most of his substitute assets by putting them into an elaborate system of trusts that, while purportedly organized for the benefit of his children, continue to cover Mashinsky's own living expenses with the consent of the trustee, Mashinsky's sister. And even as Mashinsky claims to have agreed to forfeit the assets that the government traced directly to the proceeds of his crimes, his wife has asserted that she has a superior claim to the property, which, if credited, will reduce what the government seizes and returns to Mashinsky's victims. Thus, even with the financial consequences of his guilty plea, Mashinsky will continue to be a very wealthy man and could easily conclude that crime does pay after all. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that point. So moving on. Defendants who steal billions of dollars through calculated deceit deserve decades, not years, in prison. In light of Mashinsky's personal enrichment, ongoing lack of remorse, and the devastation he caused to ordinary victims, a 20-year sentence is in line with sentences imposed in other similar cases. Now he talks about Sam Bankman-Fried, saying there are also aggravating factors that weigh in favor of a higher sentence for Mashinsky, including the fact that he personally enriched himself to a greater degree than Sam Bankman-Fried and did not even pretend to have altruistic motives for his unlawful behavior as Bankman-Fried had claimed. The 25-year sentence for Sam Bankman-Fried is therefore a meaningful data point for the court to consider. So Jay Clayton says he should get at least 20 years in prison. So guys, that is it for the video. Just wanted to make this for you guys. Just wanted to share the facts, share what's going on. So again, this is all going to happen just in a little over a week on May 8th, 2025 in New York. So that's it for the video, guys. Feel free to share your thoughts below if you want. You don't have to, but if you want to share thoughts, feel free. I'll leave the comments open for that. Hope you guys are well. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.